Hello everyone, welcome to a new series I'm doing. It's called Read and Review. And what it is I'm using a traveler's notebook to document the books I read. And so partly this is done already, but I'm going to start a new layout today. This is kind of an odd one in that it will only be a one-pager, whereas normally when I scrap the book and I write my review and I talk about, how it felt to read it and what I thought of it, it takes me 2 pages, but I didn't finish this one. I abandoned this book. So it's going to be really short, but I want to at least, say why I was reading it, why I tried at least to get through it and I just couldn't. So I just need to have enough space to write a little bit about that and then pick out my background and keep it pretty simple. For this layout, I'm kind of pulling from 2 things here. Number one, the book, if you noticed, is called Autumn. So I figured I could pull out some seasonal stuff, which I have in this container. But obviously it's also about books. I have tons of things related to reading and books. So I want to just go through both of these and see what I can find that might work with that either works with the autumn type theme, or if I don't have something that's appropriate, I'll just do sort of generic reading or books. So I found these stickers that are all fall themed. I've had these a long time. They say 2012 down here, guilty of keeping stuff forever. And I think I'm just going to work from this if I can. Probably use this border maybe because I don't know what else I would use these for, and then it's already got little strips here for stickers, little leaves and things, so I bet I can make that into something. I also should apologize for the quality of my voice. I have a horrible cold right now but I knew I needed to get this done. I'm so behind on books. Look at, I've got my pictures tucked in here. I'm so behind, so I wanted to at least get something done today, so here I go. All right, I have the border down. I just put down the sticker and then I cut off the excess that was hanging over the edges, and that worked out just fine. And it's kind of a nice color match here too, so I'm pleased with that. Now I have to figure out where to sprinkle some of these little leaf stickers around, I think. And then I think I am going to put in lines down here rather than just freehand it. I do both, but for this one I do think it's going to look really blank without it, so I will add lines. I took 2 of the little strips off the sheet and used those. I wanted to bring in the yellow to kind of match up here, but I needed another offset color or it would have felt like too much. So I put the green in there. And then I do want to use some of these leaves, and I think I want to do orange because there's this orange down here, and then I've got both the orange and the yellow in there. And I think I want it over here, kind of overlapping the border maybe. Plus there's dead space back here. So I could do it like that maybe. And you know what? I think I need a little acorn in there as well. And I have to say, if you find it odd that I'm scrapping about a book that I didn't finish, let me tell you, it took me a long time to get to a place where I could just abandon a book. For a long time, even if I didn't like the book, I felt like, well, I've started it, I have to finish it. And I would have guilt over it. It was like, the book will know if I don't finish it. I've since gotten over it. Now I figure life is too short for a bad read. You know what I mean? So if I don't like it and I've tried, it just goes back on the shelf and it's not going to hurt anybody. So I also have this packet of book-related phrases, embellishments, ephemera, that kind of stuff that I keep for my layouts. And so I'm going to take all these out, go through there, and see if there's something I can add, probably to the top maybe to overlap, or even here. It just still feels a little flat and I need something. So in my lovely stash of stuff here, look what I found. It says, didn't finish. And that very much relates. However, the color's not right. I would have to add in this color somehow. So I'm wondering if I can cheat a little bit, add this up here, and take this, and instead of adding lines, just use it maybe, I don't know, like that even, just so that then I have some lines. I could continue down here if I wanted to, but then at least those things match. So as I was looking at this more, it was irritating me that this green doesn't match. I found this piece of scrap paper and it's pretty close. It's not perfect, but it's close. So I think I'm actually going to try to pry that up and just cut a strip of this and tear the edges in a similar fashion and see if I like that better. Sadly, I was not able to pull this up. It actually started to rip the paper, if you see that right there. So I'll either have to just leave it as is, it's not horrible, or try to cover it up with something. But I decided I'm just gonna do this piece right over the other one and put it flush to the inside there, and then it covers all of that up and you won't even know it was there. All right, I added the strip and I thought it still looked a little too blank, so I took another acorn and went matchy-matchy and put it down here, plus it covers the little tear. So, you know, best of both worlds, right? So now that I have that done, this is all I have left to really attach for extra stuff, and then just my little title up here. I don't know that I'm going to add anything else because right now I'm really liking the look of that, but we'll see. I decided to put an actual staple in there by the lines where it looked like fake staples. So I put a real one in there. Not through the page on the other side, just through the tag and then adhere it. The end does stick up a little bit because of that, but that doesn't bother me because this is going to sit closed most of the time and it'll hold itself down. So that really isn't a concern to me. So now I just have to figure out exactly how I want to attach this, and then looking at it, it needs something here. I have lots of book stamps, so I think I will stamp something. I have pulled out this stamp set, and I believe this is a Kelly Perky one. It says Hero Arts over here, but I think it's when she was still designing for them. So I'm pretty sure this is one of hers. And I want to use this one that says number of pages completed. And I think it's kind of funny since I didn't finish. So then I can just put like, hey, I only read 23 pages, but that's okay. And I'll either have it right here kind of at the top with this overlapping into the white space, or I may go half and half. I'm not sure, but I will test it out and see what I think. There we go. I decided to have just the words overlap into the white. I thought that looked better. So that's done. I just have to fill in the page numbers and do a little bit of journaling. And normally I do my journaling off camera for most things, but this is such a small space and I don't have a ton to say about it since I didn't like it. So I think I'll just do the journaling now and attach it. Okay, I've done my journaling. I also decided just to put a little black line in there to mimic the staple line that's in there, and I like that better. It makes it pop just a tiny bit more, I think. So here's my journaling, and it says, I tried to read this for a book tour at the art museum, but I couldn't do it. The tone and the style just weren't for me. And that's the truth. That's why I couldn't do it. It was just a very odd structure, or there was a lack of a structure kind of in the way that it was written, and I just couldn't figure out like where they were going or what the author was trying to do, and I just found it very annoying, honestly, and sort of very jarring, and I just couldn't do it. All right, so I think I'm keeping this one very simple, and that's it on this one. And I do know I have another book that I abandoned too that I didn't finish, so I think that one's going to go over here so that it only takes up one page. But I'm glad that you stayed with me today and watched my very first layout in my read and review series. Thanks for watching, everyone.